Every day, someone tries to out-argue you. A boss lowballing your raise, a partner rewriting history mid-disagreement, a salesperson steering you toward a decision you didn't plan to make. Top trial lawyers face this exact pressure every single day in the courtroom, where one wrong question can lose a case. So they've developed a toolkit that's ruthlessly effective, not for tricking people, but for guiding conversations toward the truth and toward outcomes that are fair to you. Today, I'm handing you 3 of their most powerful tools: leading questions, looping, and pacing. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use them in a salary negotiation, a personal disagreement, or any moment where the stakes are high and the outcome matters. Let's get into it. If you're new here, this channel is all about turning high-performance skills from unexpected fields, law, negotiation, psychology, into tools you can use this week. So hit subscribe if that sounds like your kind of channel, and let's break down tactic number 1. In cross-examination, lawyers don't ask open-ended questions like, "What happened that night?" That invites a rambling, uncontrolled answer. Instead, they ask leading questions, questions that contain the answer within them, so the witness can really only agree or disagree. The classic format is a statement, followed by a tag. "You were at the office until 9 p.m., correct?" Why does this work? Because it removes ambiguity, it controls the frame of the conversation, and most importantly, it makes the other person an active participant in reaching your conclusion, rather than a passive listener being told what to think. Here's the everyday version. Instead of open questions that let the conversation drift, you ask questions that are structured around facts you already know to be true, facts that build toward the outcome you want. Let's say you're negotiating a raise. Most people walk in and ask, "Do you think I deserve more money?" That's a 50-50 coin flip. You've handed all the control to the other person. Here's the leading question version instead. Employee: "Over the last year, I brought in the Kowalski account, hit every deadline on the Meridian project, and trained 2 new hires. Would you agree those results are above what was expected for my role?" Notice what happened. The manager can't easily say no, because it's true. You've built a chain of small, undeniable agreements. And once someone has agreed with you 3 times in a row, psychologically, it becomes much harder for them to suddenly disagree on the 4th, which of course is your ask for the raise. That's the power of leading questions. You're not telling them what to think, you're walking them there, one true statement at a time. The second technique is called looping, and trial lawyers use it to prove they were actually listening and to build unstoppable momentum in an argument. Looping means taking the other person's own words from their last answer and using them as the opening of your next question. It sounds like this. "You said you left the building at 8 p.m., so when you left at 8 p.m., did you lock the back door? Why does this matter outside a courtroom?" Because looping does 2 things at once. First, it makes the other person feel deeply heard, which lowers their defenses. Second, it locks their own words into the conversation as agreed upon fact, so they can't quietly backtrack later. Imagine a disagreement with a partner about splitting household responsibilities. Without looping, the conversation spirals, accusations fly, nobody feels heard, and you end up right back where you started. Here's looping in action. Partner A: "I just feel like I'm doing everything around here." Partner B: "So you feel like you're doing everything around here. When you say everything, is that the cooking, the cleaning, or both?" Partner A: "Mostly the cleaning, honestly." Partner B: "Okay, so specifically the cleaning is where it feels unbalanced. That's really helpful to know, because I thought it was more about the cooking. Can we split the cleaning schedule this week and see if that fixes it?" See what happened there? By looping their language back, Partner B avoided a defensive, generalized fight and narrowed a vague complaint into a specific, solvable problem. That's the quiet power of looping. It turns emotional static into an actionable agreement. The third tactic is one most people completely overlook: pacing. In the courtroom, a skilled attorney controls the rhythm of their questions, sometimes rapid fire, to keep a witness from overthinking an answer, and sometimes deliberately slow, with long pauses, to let the weight of an admission sink in for the jury. Outside the courtroom, pacing is your tool for managing the emotional temperature of a conversation. Most of us, under pressure, either rush to fill silence or get steamrolled by a faster talker. Learning to control pace flips that dynamic entirely. Say a colleague raises their voice, accusing you of missing a deadline that wasn't actually your responsibility. The instinct is to match their energy and speed, which almost always escalates things. Instead, watch what deliberate pacing does. Colleague: fast, agitated. You completely drop the ball on this, and now the whole team looks bad because of it. You, slow, measured, after a deliberate pause. I hear that you're frustrated. Pause. Let's slow down for a second. Pause. Can you walk me through exactly which deliverable you believe was mine? That pause isn't hesitation, it's control. Slowing your pace forces the other person to slow down too, whether they want to or not. It signals confidence. It gives you time to think instead of react. And in almost every case, it de-escalates a conversation that was about to spiral out of control. Fast pacing has its place too, when you want to keep momentum in a negotiation and not give the other side time to invent objections. But slow, deliberate pacing is the tool most people are missing, and it's often the difference between winning a conversation and losing your composure. Let's bring it together. 3 tools, straight from the courtroom, ready for your next hard conversation. Leading questions. Build a chain of small agreements that guide someone toward your conclusion. Looping. Reflect their own words back to make them feel heard, and lock facts into the conversation. Pacing. Control the rhythm and silence to control the emotional temperature of the room. Used together, these aren't manipulation tactics. They're structure. They give you a way to stay calm, clear, and in control when the stakes are highest. In a negotiation, a disagreement, or any moment where you need to be heard and taken seriously. If this gave you a new way to think about your next hard conversation, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down the negotiation tactic FBI hostage negotiators use that works just as well in a used car lot as it does in a crisis. And in the comments, tell me, which of these 3 tactics are you trying first? Leading questions, looping, or pacing? I read every one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.